As a business owner today, when you're looking to get your information out there, you don't want to be a secret. Your reputation is all that you have. So oftentimes we'll look to a PR firm to help us get our message out nationally and locally. Are you in search for a PR firm, someone that you can trust to help you become the next best thing in your industry, to be known as the key person of influence? Today on the Entrepreneur's Voice Show, I'm your host, Eric Smith, and we've got Mr. Shannon Rose from Eclectic Media PR. Shannon, thank you for coming in, visiting with us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on your show.
When we talk about PR firms and so forth, there's a lot of options out there, but you come highly recommended. Eclectic has been known to get its clients on television, radio, media, newsprint, locally and nationally. What would you say is the accreditation of the success to why you guys have been so successful with your clients?
I think the difference between us and them is the fact that we like to work directly with the client to make sure they're happy, to make sure that what we send out there is not just something that we decide we want to do. We work with the client to make sure it's a final say, that they like what they see, and that we work with the media that they want.
That's a powerful statement. So really, when you talk about you send stuff out there, let's back up a little bit. What is the process? If a person has never worked with a PR firm, what is the advantage and what is the process that one experiences when working?
And I hate to use the word us and them again, but I will, because of the fact that I actually worked in front of the scenes as I do now, hosting a radio show, but also I now work behind the scenes. And also I have produced a radio show and hosted a radio show, produced TV and hosted a television show. So I know what they're looking for. And what we do is we actually work with the client to find their message, whether they've already established or they're just starting out. So you could just be having a book. And I always tell my authors, 1 or 2 months out, start doing your PR campaign. And we work with them, find out the bullet points as to what they want to be out there about. So it's not just about their book, because a book has a shelf life, maybe a month or two. We want to have it ongoing. One of our clients, we actually had a hand in getting them a movie. One of the movie producers, The Infiltrator, in a year's time, he actually was with Simon & Schuster, and they weren't really doing anything for him. So he came to me. He was recommended by a local media personality in Tampa Bay, Ted Webb, and we sat and we talked about what his direction was. Within a year, because of all the media that we did, this gentleman named Robert Mazer went ahead, and I got an email from a Hollywood producer. They wanted to, because of all the media, do a movie around his book, The Infiltrator. So those are the kind of things we do, is we write up pitches. We do a lot of pitches. We do press releases, we'll do those, but we do these pitches about topical items in the news. That's so important. We watch the news, we see what's of an interest to the media, and we jump all over it. So whether it's 1 pitch, 2 pitches, or even 3 pitches a week, we're going to get the messages across.
Wow, that's really amazing. So take us back. How did this all get started? Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I'm going to go back a long time ago. I'm not going to say how old I am, 40, but I started when I was 13 years old in sports entertainment. And I had not to bring it down a little bit here with the sob story, but I had a medical condition. And the Make-A-Wish Foundation granted me a wish to meet Hulk Hogan and American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And from there, I started ring announcing when I was a young age. In fact, the first match I was at, the ring announcer didn't show up. I was ringing the bell. They felt sorry for the handicapped kid. But they went ahead and gave me the microphone. I had both arms in a sling. Both arms are paralyzed, couldn't move them, and the rest is history in that sense. From there, I produced a radio show. I was in a video game. I was actually a personality in a video game. How many people can say when they live past their time, they're always going to be immortalized in a video game? In fact, the first time I actually knew I was in a video game, I walked through Best Buy, and somebody tapped on my shoulder, and I turned around, and there I was, a cartoon, and it was for EA Sports. EA Sports, it's in the game.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
then from there we went on, and when my first client, Chris Markowski, the Watchdog of Wall Street, is still my client today. That says something about what kind of reputation I have. I don't burn bridges. I like to sustain relationships. Whether those people move on or not, they tend to always come back because of the fact that they see what they had before, and they see that we did stuff for them. But yeah, Chris Markowski, the Watchdog of Wall Street, is still working with me today, and we started in 2007 with the PR firm. But of course, as I said, I started PR years ago, probably 30 years ago.
So tell us a little bit about your experience, and you mentioned about the radio show that you've got going on now. Tell me a little bit about what is the focus of that, and the benefit of how people get to participate with that.
Well, America's Talk Radio Network came to me and thought it would be great to, because they heard me on doing the Rose Hollywood Report on Mancal and other shows nationally. And I started that a few years ago. Actually, I was termed Mr. Hollywood. They can't really see my jacket here, but I was given
It's
that.
on the back,
It's on the
folks.
back.
I can
Yeah.
see it.
But I was given that name by Mancal, who's a national shock jock, but he does a lot of new stuff. So I did a lot of fun Hollywood stuff. So they came to me and said, we'd like you to do a show on America's Talk Radio Network. And I thought Entertainment This Week is a great name. Started that up about a month ago. And if you're listening to this at a later point, we started the show in 2015. But so anyway, so I thought also, why not have the show also benefit my clients? So we actually run commercials for my clients on the show also for some of the clients. And we're expanding on and incorporating different commercials as we move on, and interviewing our clients also on the show itself. We're giving them a benefit of being heard nationally on my own show. And I know what to ask, of course, because they're my clients. Plus, we interview celebrities. We've had the American Idol. We're going to, of course, the David Letterman show just wrapped up recently. We're going to have the executive producer on the show from the David Letterman show. So we do a lot of cool things. It's a show. It's like diving in the mind of Mr. Hollywood. And so I get to do what I want, and that's kind of cool,
So because you have the freedom to do those things and really reach out to cool people and entertaining people, how does that translate to the success that you help your clients, deal with and so forth?
Well, it's a PR method. It's, again, another, and I use the word SEO a lot, and SEO, search engine optimization. And all these things that we're doing is benefiting my clients. Whatever I do is benefiting my clients. Whether it's, passing out their Jacqueline Darna, love her. She's awesome. And everywhere I go, I keep her little bands for nausea so I can give it to people. I always think the thing is, again, I have a personal stake with my clients. They're like my, they're like my left and right hand. So wherever I go, even with my medical problems, I always have something to talk about and to promote my clients, or I have their bracelet, whatever it is, it's to benefit them. So this radio show is to benefit in the long run my clients.
That's outstanding. I just so happened to, I understand what you're talking about, Jacqueline. She is a lovely lady with an amazing product, and I've got to experience her product myself. I've had a little case of nausea last week.
And at first you put it on, you're like, you taste it, but then as you go along, the stuff that's in it, and it's really it's all natural. And when you wear it, you're not nauseous. And I get nauseated because I have a serum. A long story, but it helps my immunity, and it's almost like I'm a superhero. Spider-Man gets bit by the spider. Well, this helps, or X-Men. It helps me become the superhero. Just stuff I say. So anyway, so I get nauseous with it. So this bracelet that you wear, it makes me less nauseous.
Wow. Yeah, it really works. So, I'm glad to have known one of your clients and so forth. And she's very excited. I've seen her on some television interviews. And
she's been on Daytime, among other shows.
And so that's really what it's all about, because as an entrepreneur, your goal is to really get your message out there in a big way. By partnering up with companies like Eclectic Media PR, it's going to help you get your PR done and your marketing for your business in a laser focused manner. So I also want to give a testimony, because I appreciate you being the firm that represents me.
Full disclosure there.
So this is my PR firm, and I've been interviewed on many different shows myself.
Got some articles coming out.
Got some articles coming out for myself. But again, this interview is not about me, but I did want to give a shout out for the work that you guys have done for your clients and the work that I've experienced from you as well.
Thank you.
Anything else that you feel that's important that people need to understand when it comes to just choosing the right representation for their PR?
Sure. It's not about quantity. It's not about just pushing a product out there. It's about the quality of what you're pushing out, because it's about the message too. If you have the right message, and if that person is represented correctly as to who they are and what they can talk about, you're going to have, as I say, and I coined it, the perfect pitch.
Couldn't have said it any better myself. Shannon, thank you very, very much for allowing us to sit down and just get to know some things. I didn't know that you, transform into a superhero from time to time, and was featured in a game.
Some people call me the Incredible Hulk.
All right, that used to be my favorite character to watch when I was a kid. So, yeah, this is Eric Smith. We're talking about choosing and selecting a great PR firm to help your company get to the heights that it deserves to be. Thank you for watching the Entrepreneur's Voice Show. We'll see you at our next episode.